MJ-12 is sitting there thinking, by the time this 70 years is up, how in the world are we going to convince everybody to have a one world government? How are we going to do it? And they came up with a plan in the 1960s, and then they kept going through the 70s. And in the late 70s, they came up with the idea, and they put it on paper. And that's the file that Jimmy Corbell seen. I would bet my life on it because it matches exactly what the final script was. And I say script very literally during the first Reagan administration. That's what I saw, along with him, but along with what he saw. But I saw the final copy, the final cut. And that was put together during the first Reagan administration. It's what they call a staff document, MJ-12 internal staff document, but really it was Special Operations Manual 008 and then dash, and there was another 2 or 3 numbers I can't remember, but it was a real Special Operations Manual. It broke it all the way down, step by step, and there was a script. And they specifically said, instead of trying to contact everybody around the world, every time it's ready to go to the next phase, we're going to have what they call, quote, precursors. Okay? And these precursors were things that they say I predicted them. I didn't predict them. I'm just releasing what these precursors are. And that was back in, from 81 to 85 or so, early 80s. So some of these things have been sped up. Some of them have been slowed down. So one of the precursors was a labeled terrorist organization in possession of a nation being confirmed as an ally of the United States and confirmed by the United Nations. So when I got briefed in 2012, it was supposed to be ISIS. Something happened to where when I looked up, the only labeled terrorist organization in possession of a nation was the Taliban. So I said it's got to be the Taliban. So when I did my release about it, I said it's going to be the Taliban. And then I'm seeing right after Trump gets elected, the Taliban releases a statement. They say we want to be aligned with the United States. I said, here it comes. Here it comes. But then Syria happens. And not only is the leader of that from the labeled terrorist organization, but immediately the United States is already allied with them. And the United Nations already put the plan together for them to run that nation. I said, oh, shit, hold on. It was probably them. And then another precursor was the James Webb Telescope. Or back then, it wasn't even called that. And that's why it was just called high-powered telescope. I thought it was the Hubble. So I thought it was going to be the Hubble. But then when they built the James Webb, then I knew. Because they said high-powered telescope was going to identify, quote, biological signatures / biologics, end quote, along with, quote, a technological signature, end quote. And that is a fact. That is a quote. And that was going to be in the TRAPPIST-1 star system. And Alpha Mencey star system was going to be mentioned. I found that out a little bit later. And as far as the TRAPPIST-1 star system, specifically for some, I don't know why, I wish I knew, but the date, I'm telling you, when this happens, you go back and listen to this. When the date, April 23rd of 2023, will be mentioned. I don't know what they'll use it for. Maybe they'll say that's the date they found the signatures, whatever. And what that's going to do is convince people, no, there's an alien civilization close by. Alpha Mencey and TRAPPIST-1, they're not that far away. Oh, there's an alien civilization close by. And then you have all these movies are part of the public acclamation program trying to convince you that, yeah, aliens are real. Everything from Marvel, everything. Think about it. Everything is about aliens. Everything. But all of it is, well, aliens they're going to invade you. They're going to come. But there's some good aliens, though, that are going to help us and that we're going to prevail every single time. Or come together as a species for one world government and you'll prevail. Independence Day. All of that is public acclamation. All of it. And it's all ran by Spielberg. That's a fact. And people are going to be like, oh, look at this conspiracy theory. It's a fact. That's a fact. And so fast forward, the whole plan for the 2027 thing is this. Create all this destabilization, put everybody against each other, using race, using money, finances, using religion, using everything you think of, destabilize this nation, that nation, and the Magi Committee. Once they infiltrate a nation and put this expert there and that expert there, so that they're really the ones running the country. If there's a dictator or something that's in the way, they get rid of him. Saddam Hussein, get rid of him. They get rid of these people because they're not playing ball. If they're playing ball, they're on ball. Because MJ-12 runs the world. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. They run the world. They blame. They let Illuminati take the blame and sit back and laugh. Oh, that shit's just a scapegoat. And they're not a secret society. They are a classified section of the government that is a satellite government that is sitting back and laughing at you. And the plan is to destabilize everybody. And by the time the 70-year contract runs out, we are right there on the cusp of World War III. And the contract ran out September 24th of just last year, 2024. And where are we at? Right there. And simultaneous to that, one of the other precursors I was warned about in 2012 was there's going to be whistleblowers come forward, so-called whistleblowers and insiders coming forward that are going to use the same phrase over and over and over to describe extraterrestrial technologies, and that's going to be this, quote, threat to national security, end quote. And they will drive that home. They will drill that through your mind. And he kept telling me that, my handling agent, my mentor, kept telling me that over and over and over, over and over and over. Watch for that, watch for that, watch for that. And here, right before the contract runs out, I watched Elizondo come forward telling people that the Roswell species is a threat to national security. Exact word. David Rush at the national security. I'm watching all of that. Ryan Grush, threat to national security. Many of these, he told me, would not know they are part of this narrative. Many of them. But he said some of them will know. I believe it's my personal opinion, Charles McNeal's personal opinion, that Elizondo knows and that he's part of it. I don't think David Bush does. I don't think Aaron Graves knows. I don't. That's my opinion. But Elizondo, I'm going to tell you why, and then I'm going to get right back into that 2027 thing. I'm going to tell you why I take that stance. Because me and him have seen the same file. Go back and look at my whistleblower document at acclimatenow.com that I authored 3.5 years ago. And look where I say that Roswell was a crash that involved 2 craft, not 3, not 1. And I even gave all the details to where they went down, everything. And all of a sudden, he writes a book and says, "Oh, there was 2 craft, wasn't 1." And everybody's like, "Oh my God, the whole time there was 2 craft." I've been said that. So that tells me he's seen the file that I've seen. So that means you know that the Roswell species from Serpo is the most benevolent species in the galaxy. But yet you're still coming forward saying they are a, quote, threat to national security when I was told to watch out for people just like you. I know he's part of it. I know for a fact he's part of it. So you fast forward. World War III is put together on purpose. Why would they do that? Charles, why would they do that? For what? What's the purpose? Because they have to get you at your lowest point. They have to break you down so they can build you up there the way they want you to be, brick by brick, military type of mindset. And I get it. But that's what they're putting together. And then just when you think it can't get any worse, they'll kick off World War III, and one of the precursors that'll happen right before to signify that this is the last stage is Israel's Dome of the Rock will be destroyed. I don't know if it'll be from Iraq or Iran. I don't know if it'll be from within and blamed on somebody else for a false indication and warning operation or a false INW or false flag, as people call it. I don't know. I just know it'll be destroyed. And the reason for that is so 3 different religions. Because that's the key. That's the key of turning everybody against each other's religion. So 3 different religions will all vie over who can rebuild it first. So each one will have the one true religion under the one true God after they rebuild, quote, Solomon's Temple. Because that's the Dome of the Rock. And they'll do that on purpose to usher in that biblical prophecy so they can usher in the final stage of World War III. Once World War III kicks off, right after that, it'll kick off. And then about a couple months in, maybe 6 months in or so, and sometimes sooner, it might even be sooner, because I actually was told all this has been expedited. Let's get that out of the way. But I don't know that. I've been told that by an insider who I've vetted information-wise and know they know what they're talking about, but I don't know that. My information is mid-2026. What I was briefed on as of 2012, mid-2026 is when World War III will be interrupted by a fake alien invasion. That's a real thing. Not Project Bluebeam. There's no such thing. Or, I'm sorry, not Operation Bluebeam. There's no such thing. Project Bluebeam is just one piece. This is how these conspiracy theories go out of control. Project Bluebeam is just one piece of the operation. All it is making all these UFOs look like make 1,000 craft look like 10,000 craft. It's a holographic technology that's made by NASA. It's a NASA thing. It's a NASA program project. Project Bluebeam is a NASA holographic technology to make 1,000 craft look like 10,000, invading the world. And actually, one of the transcripts I read, MJ12 actually floated, somebody, one of them anyway, floated the idea of projecting Jesus Christ in the sky to tell everyone that of the second's coming, and they convinced everybody, oh, you have to put your borders to the ground, and they turned it down. It wasn't accepted as far as I know, but that just gives you the mindset of these sick fucks of what the manipulation tactics they'll use. So, anyways, ARVs is alien reproduction vehicles. We've been building flying disc simulators since the 1950s. We've been building full-fledged ARVs since the 1970s. And we've been building full-fledged fleet since the 1980s, specifically the late 1980s, and starships from the late or early 1990s, late 1980s. Alien reproduction vehicles. There's 4 different designs, but we have came up with a few more since then. That we have the acorn type of design, we have the boomerang type of design, we have the regular saucer shape, and we have the cigar shape. And there are many different others, like the pyramids and stuff, but these are the main 4, okay? And these are going to be used alongside what they call PLF, Programmed Life Form. These are fake aliens that we've been building since 1978 at Dole State, which is a real thing, not a fake thing. And all these other facilities, including Pine Gap, Australia's biggest actually production line of these things, they're fake aliens, little fake braids, They're bioskeletal makeup filled with biological tissue made from cattle mutilations over top, and they're little great. And we've been building these things. There's millions of them, and they're going to be released with these ARVs. They're going to be piloting these ARVs along with AI piloting these ARVs, unmanned, both together. Then Project Bluebeam will be utilized by NASA to make it look like tens of thousands in its whole armada, invading the United States and around the world, everywhere but Antarctica, because it's off limits to aggression by humans. And then they're going to just interrupt all that about mid-2027. The UN is going to reestablish communications, and they're going to release a statement. They're going to say, we need to come together as a species to unify, to protect ourselves from annihilation. And we need to come together as the one government, one nation under God, under the United Nations banner, and put our petty differences to the side and our borders to the ground in order to defeat this common enemy. And that right there, my friends, is your one world government. And then they'll make a show of it. The Galactic Federation of Light will be intervening even before that, alongside during that, taking so-called, survivors and saving people so that everybody understands that they are good, and they are good, but they have that prime directive thing from Star Trek is a real thing. They're not allowed to intervene. Amongst each other. So they're going to be approved to do that, and they're going to save all these people, but they're going to also, now that announcement gets made, they're going to help us so-called defeat these so-called aliens, and then they're going to be like, well, those and actually a couple of the gray species and a couple of the other humanoid species, oh, these are the good aliens. They helped us defeat the bad ones. The whole time they're just the real aliens. Whole time they're just the real ones. And we're just going to hit the off switch, and then we're going to go in and become, by the end of 2027, a full-fledged member of the Galactic Federation of Light. And let me tell you, the after plan looks amazing. But that genocidal maniac plan to get us there is completely out of order. We don't have to do that. We could do it a different way.